Look at this pattern closely, because once you see it, I'm hoping that you won't be able to unsee it anymore. When someone has everything to lose, their fame, their money, their reputation, the truth becomes a threat. And when the truth becomes a threat, people don't just hide it. No, they protect themselves from it. Listen, this isn't just about a case. This is about a system where image is currency and perception is power. And in a city like Los Angeles, where careers are built on visibility and destroyed by exposure, the truth isn't just uncomfortable. No, the truth is dangerous. Right now, there's a case unfolding here in Los Angeles that's getting a lot of attention. A tragic young life lost. Serious charges. A narrative forming in real time.
Let's talk more about the motive prosecutors and police laid out today. They made it pretty clear why they think this crime was carried out.
What was revealed today, and something that had not been known until today, is that LAPD detectives believe that this was a way, the murder was a way for David Burke to keep Celeste Rivas quiet. That they are saying that he was on his way up and that he wanted to keep her quiet and not reveal a relationship that had been going on between the two of them when she was underage, under 14 years old, and that this was a way to keep that relationship quiet that she was going to expose.
And like always, you're seeing two things happen at once. On one side, you have outrage, you have emotion, you have public reaction. On the other side, defense teams, statements, positioning, control of narrative. And that's where you need to slow down, way down. Because what you're watching is not just a legal situation. It's a collision between truth and reputation.
It is now up to the DA's office to review the entire case and determine whether there is enough evidence to meet the threshold for criminal charges. Last September, the dismembered body of that 14-year-old was found decomposing in the back of a Tesla connected to Burke that was abandoned in the well-to-do Bird Streets neighborhood of the Hollywood Hills, not far from the Hollywood home that David had been renting. Rivas had been reported missing more than a year earlier when she was only 13.
Let's talk about incentives, because incentives tell you more than emotions ever will. If someone has a rising career, money coming in, lots of public attention, industry connections, then the stakes are no longer normal. The stakes become protect the brand, protect the income, protect the bag, protect the future, even if the cost is everything else. And this is where people get it twisted. They think that situations like this are rare. They're not rare. They're just rarely exposed. This is a city called Los Angeles, California. A city where image is curated. Stories, they're managed. Narratives, they're all engineered. People don't just build careers here. No, they build identities. And once that identity starts generating money, it must be protected. Not morally, systematically. That means managers protected. That means lawyers protected. Sometimes even families protected. Because once the machine is running, everyone attached to it has something to lose. And here's the part that you will never ever hear from the mainstream media and rarely anyone. Sometimes, just sometimes, people will defend what looks indefensible. Not because they don't see the problem, but because acknowledging the problem will collapse everything connected to it. So what do? They delay. They deny. They reposition. They wait for the confusion to set in because in a world driven by attention, time can blur anything. Now look at the public side. Most people react emotionally. They pick a side immediately. They argue in the comments. They repost headlines. They react to clips. But very few people ask, what are the incentives here? Who benefits from silence here? Who loses if the truth comes out? Because once you start asking those questions, you stop being controlled by the narrative and you start seeing the structure behind it. This is the lesson, not just about this particular situation, but about the world you're living in. There are people walking around right now with everything to lose, and when everything is on the line, character gets tested. Integrity gets tested. Reality gets tested. And not everyone passes that test. Some people protect the truth. Some, but others protect themselves from it. So the next time you see a situation like this, don't just look at what happened. Look at what is at stake, because that's where the real story is. And once you start seeing that, you'll realize something uncomfortable. This is not and never was about one person. This is about a system that rewards perception more than it ever will reward truth.